Hey Slayers!
Hey Slayers!
I hope you guys are fabulous. My name is Tumi and this is Young Broken Fabulous. Guys, today I have my husband.
Oh yes.
I have my husband here with me to answer a request that I got on Instagram about a mental health issue. But before we go into the video, please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And guys, I need money. It's gonna be festive. Please watch the ads. Please.
Are you trying to do festive hauls?
Yeah, festive hauls. I need to do like a lot of
December outfits.
Yeah, so December, like this time around, I always say this, like in every year I always say that the whole December, even if I'm going to work or not, I'm going to dress up, and then I end up not doing it. So I'm gonna do like outfits from the 1st of December to the end of December.
So watch those ads. If you want that content, watch the ads.
And I'm gonna do like a whole lookbook so that you have ideas for the final week of December. You know, we have to be showing up to places. You want to be like, you know. Anyways, anywho, I can only make that possible if you watch the ads.
Yes.
Anyway, let's go into the mental health content. So today we are going to talk about mental health and relationships. So I'm going to read this first so that we can start talking. The reason why my husband is here is because obviously he's in a relationship with someone with a mental illness, so he can answer from his perspective.
Where did you get those questions from?
I got the question on Instagram. It was a specific request for a video.
Cool.
Good morning. So the person requested that the identity remain anonymous, which I can respect. But the request goes, good morning, I had been waiting for you to upload a video on your channel this week because I wanted to ask if you can do a video on mental health in relationships with Sandiso. I've been recently diagnosed with depression and I feel as though my partner struggles to understand sometimes. He is very good at getting my medication and ensuring that I drink it, but everything after that is a problem. He doesn't offer much support. I wish to hear you discuss key issues such as the language you should use when talking to someone with mental health. Speak on how to serve your partner per their love language, even on your worst days, and how not to seem like a burden. There are other couple of channels that have done this, but I find your content more relatable. Thank you.
I think it's not a blanket thing that like maybe like this is how you support somebody with a mental health issue, or somebody that's going through depression or whatever the mental health issue is. I really think the thing is we don't know exactly the dynamics of the relationship. I just think that with regards to support, it should be a thing that comes from the person that's going through the mental health issue to say, this is how you could support me. Obviously, as the partner that's not going through the mental health issue at that time, it would be good for you to ask how you can support. But sometimes you don't see that you're not supporting. Because, for example, for him getting the medication and doing all of that, for him that might be him feeling like he's actually doing the most to support you. And you'll find that maybe he's trying to maybe step back and not be in your face or whatever, because he doesn't know how to deal with what's happening with that issue. So I think it's always best for you as a person that's going through the mental health issue at that time to communicate and say, I thank you for getting my medication. I really appreciate that, but I would also like you to support me in this way, and also ask your partner. How is this affecting him? you know, and the things like just communicate so that it doesn't, so that also for you, if you're communicating like that and you're also asking, then you feel like less of a burden, and then you can also hear what your partner is feeling and what they're going through. Because I know a lot of the time because you're going through the depression, you will be in your mind trying to figure out what the other partner is thinking, or feeling bad, and
because like one thing I know about depression, or when I have depressive episodes, is that you find yourself like being problematic. You feel like you're making everything worse. It's like those feelings just become hyper I don't know.
You feel them more.
You feel them more. You feel like, no, now I'm failing in relationships. I'm failing. So that's the depression talking. So you feel like now you're not doing enough in your relationship and everything like that. I feel like maybe your partner's love language is acts of service. So acts of service are part of love language. So that's why he goes and gets your medications. Your medication helps you with taking your medication and everything, but maybe with like communication he's not very good at it. So where he falls short, I think that's where you need to come in and also communicate, because I feel like the biggest problem in relationships is that people don't communicate. They want to always be at their best, and when they're not at their best, they feel like they're failing. But it's natural not to be your best all the time. Even for someone who doesn't even have mental illness, people go through periods where life is happening and they might not be themselves, and you might not understand, and trying to guess or trying to just solve it yourself doesn't work, because you are not in the mind of that person. So you're doing things from your perspective, and instead of doing things from that person's perspective and actually what they want, because you just trying to solve it might actually make the situation worse. So I feel like open the conversation and say, you know what, this is how I'm feeling, and also explaining exactly what you are going through, like making the person aware of what you're going through, so that they're not left in a place where they don't understand what's happening now. What am I supposed to do? So I think that it's important that you open that conversation and say, you know what, thank you for helping me, like Sandy said, thank you for helping me with my medication, thank you for this. But honestly, sometimes depression is beyond medication. Sometimes you need a helping hand out of that negative space, and you can come up, both of you, with ways of how you can get out of that thing. I know for me, if I'm in the house for too long, like I start getting, since lockdown, I've seen that like as soon as like possibly like it's level 4, you guys are stuck indoors, like it will start creeping in, that feeling of like I'm locked in here. So I'll need to, like Sandy told me, like let's go out, let's go to the park, let's go have lunch somewhere or something like that. Like it doesn't require money. It's like it's as easy as like just saying like walk outside
and just seeing other people, like literally seeing
other people outside and everything like that,
other voices, and just seeing that life is also going on. Because sometimes when you're like cooped up in one space the whole time, you end up being stuck. For me, it ends up feeling like I'm stuck in my head, you know what I mean, and like I can't come out. So yeah.
And also, like one thing I want to add in terms of getting help, a lot of people like will be diagnosed and everything, and then they will be going through a period where everything is dark. It's very important also to help the person that's helping you, because at the end of the day, if the person is helping and you are just like, I'm so depressed, I'm not willing to do anything, you are not receiving the help. I know it's very difficult personally to get out of bed or to not sleep the whole day. Like Sandy's will be like, oh yeah, let's do this or let's watch a movie, and the whole time I'm sleeping and then he gets me out of bed, then I'm gonna go just sleep on the couch, instead of interacting. Like the person starts feeling lonely as well, even though you are both there. So every time you are feeling a bit better, also initiate that, you know what, let's like I really want to do this, but also understand that like it takes a toll on your partner as well. Your mental health condition takes a toll on your partner as well. It doesn't mean that they're not being understanding. They are also dealing with all of that, and being an adult, they're also dealing with their own things, just that obviously they can handle it better and they're there to support you, but you also trying with them will improve things.
I think I also want to add on, I think, you know, after you get a diagnosis, to, for lack of a better word, confirm that you are depressed. I think maybe after you get the diagnosis, maybe you get even more into your head, because now it's like it's stamped. That's what's happening. So I think how can I put this? What I'm trying to say is that I think when you're going through those doom and gloom moments where like you're just at your worst, I think it's that's the most important time to find a way to communicate. I know it's not easy, because I've also been going through like the most that for some time. I've also been in a very bad space in my mind for some time. I'm not going to call it depression, because I haven't seen somebody and been diagnosed with depression, but I haven't been okay mentally. And the hardest part of that is communicating with your partner how you feel, because at the same time you don't understand how you're feeling, why you're feeling that, you don't know what to do, and at the same time maybe it's hard to understand how your partner can help you. But the most important thing is just at least being able to communicate with your partner. Would say, look, I'm not okay. I don't know how to feel better. I don't know how I'm going to get better, but right now this is what's happening to me. And at least when you start from there, then the two of you can figure out how you can then help each other to kind of make you feel better, and also for your partner to understand how they can help, and it's also an open space for your partner to communicate however you're feeling is affecting them too, so that you can then both together be able to help each other get through that period.
Yes. I think we've pretty much covered like the question.
The other part that she said was the language you should use. Can I just talk a bit about that? With regards to the language that you should use, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, it's not the same for everyone. For example, if you speak like, oh, I appreciate you did this, but 1, 2, 3, 4 to somebody else, that may feel like it's belittling them, or it's being ungrateful. So the language that you should use depends on your partner. You know your partner better, and it's also another thing that goes back to communication, where you should ask them, where you should ask each other, like how best do I speak to you? Because someone might get angry when you speak to them like that, or someone like me would appreciate when you speak like that. So I think it's at the end of the day, the key thing we've been saying throughout the whole video is that it's just being able to communicate together with your partner and try to understand each other as best as you can. And also something that Tumi mentioned to me is that also seek help. Seek help seek help for the sake of your relationship. If you're because communication has to be constructive at the end of the day. It should make things better. It should build. So if the communication with you can't speak to your partner about what you're going through, get help. Try to find someone you can speak to for the sake of your relationship, so that you can then go back into your relationship and be able to build. I don't know if what I'm saying is making sense.
It is making sense. So with regards to that, I wanted to actually build on and at that point of getting professional help. This is something that I always emphasize. Obviously, if you're on medication, you have already gotten professional help, but if it's within your means to be able to see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, because a psychiatrist is the one that will give you the pills and everything like that, but a psychologist will be someone that helps you through what you're going through and you can talk. The problem with talking to someone who's your partner, these people are not professionals. Sandis was my partner, but he's not a professional, so, and he's someone who's emotionally invested, so maybe I might say something that he will not hear it objectively. He might actually take it personally or feel like he's failing and so forth and so on. So that's why I always advise people to actually speak to professionals, because sometimes your friends and your family they don't know much about a condition. So some things that you may say, if you say like, oh, I feel like you guys, this behavior of yours is toxic, they were not gonna take it like how a psychologist is gonna take it and then help you through the steps of how to best navigate that, because sometimes telling people that toxic just makes them more toxic towards you. But if you talk to a psychologist, they will say if they start doing this, it's better, like my psychiatrist always says, it's better to remove yourself from the situation, because you know you're someone that doesn't like people shouting at in a work environment or something. You know that sometimes you can't change the person's actions, but a professional will help you better navigate that than if you are constantly telling people, hey, this, they like, your partner is not a professional, so he will never know, or he or she will never know how to actually help you, because also they are getting affected by, for someone who's depressed, they're starting to drop the ball on everything else around them. So if you're dropping the ball on everything like around, they have to pick up the slack, which is a lot for the person. So you see how if you say, I feel this way, they might lash out and say, but I'm doing all of this. Do you see like what I mean?
Can I also add on to also getting professional help will also help. It helps you focus on you, because when you're going through a mental health issue, you also have to deal with yourself. You also have to focus on you, not only on how you interact with other people. You have to get better yourself so that you can then go back to a place where you can then be, I don't want to say normal, but like where you're better,
you can be yourself,
where you can be yourself,
your normal self. I always say my maybe relapse self is not my real self, and there's a way where you feel like this is not me, I'm not being normal, and this is where I'm normal, I feel like I'm normal. I don't know if you get me. Excuse me. Why do I yawn when I talk a lot?
I don't know.
I'm not someone who talks a lot. I get winded.
But I think this brings us to the end of this conversation, and I hope the conversation that we had today can
help someone.
Can help someone. And also, if you have, we'll do this on the Ngwanya's house, like where we have sit downs where we can talk about things that where we'll lend a perspective from our relationships, from our relationship experience. So do subscribe to the Ngwanya's house, and also follow Tumi on Instagram. This is a handle, and also follow the Ngwanya's house on Instagram here. And if you do have questions or things like this you'd like us to speak about, not specifically mental health only, but anything that has to do with relationships, we'll do that on the Ngwanya's house, and you can just drop us a DM, you can comment below in this video, or send to me a DM, and we'll definitely do more conversations like this.
So what I'm gonna do is I actually posted stories on Instagram specifically about depression, how the signs and everything like that. And I was talking with a psychiatrist, so I'm gonna insert the 4-minute clip at the end for anyone who wants to watch further. The link to the full IGTV will be below, but right now I'm trying to also spread awareness about like with regards to depression, so that's why I wanted to just insert that specific portion. And once we've managed to download the full IGTV, I will post it as a video for those who might need the help and are not on Instagram, because a lot of people on YouTube are not on Instagram. So I am gonna post it. It's gonna be a long video, but it's for the people that will benefit from it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, with that said, guys, please don't forget to watch the ads so that you can get all that fashion content that Tumi says she's going to do from the beginning of the video. Please, if you're this far in the video, drop this emoji in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to Tumi's channel. Don't forget to go to the Ngwanya's house if you like seeing us together. And what else? Did I miss anything?
At the end of the video, also I'm gonna put a, you know, that tag thing. No, like link to the video we did 2 years ago, was it 3 years ago?
Oh yeah,
about mental health.
Oh yeah, stick around to the end for that. And yeah,
that period.
Thanks for having me on your channel.
You.
Bye.
Okay, bye guys.
Say bye to the camera.
Wait, sorry, let me join this thing. Okay, bye guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. Medical help. The last question is, how do we know, how does one know when they are suffering from depression? Can feeling anxious, emotional and anxious be an indicator? I think that's what they're asking. So if how can they know if they're depressed, and does feeling emotional and anxious an indicator of depression?
So anxiety can be part of the presentation, right? So you can with anxiety features. So anxiety can go with depression, and depression can go with anxiety. Being emotional, yes, that also can be a contributory symptom. There's a whole plethora of symptoms that go together with depression. So I'll go through some of them. One is our mood is low, right? And that will be for a chronic period. And we all know what being unhappy for a while can mean. Poor sleep, and our sleep is not appropriate. Our appetite, we lose appetite. In fact, to the point where patients will describe losing weight because they're so in a negative space. Our energy levels are low, down in the ground, right? And I'm talking specifically about depression. Poor sleep, appetite, energy. Our concentration levels are not where it used to be. We feel our memory, we feel we're forgetting things all the time. We may feel guilty all the time, just about inappropriately. We just feel like we always at wrong or something's not going right. We feel lethargic. We feel we cannot get out of bed. We'll feel hopeless. All right. There's another term, we call it anhedonia, and it means we lose interest in activities or events that we used to enjoy. Patients will describe, I used to enjoy fishing, or I used to enjoy going out with my friends, and I don't find that fun anymore. And maybe the most challenging symptom that patients will describe is they feel suicidal. They feel like their lives are going to end, and they say, I don't mind if it ends. So all these symptoms, and together with that, the doctor will look at that, look at your presentation, how you are, what we call your affect, your emotional presentation. All these things will come through, how you are talking. In fact, something interesting I've said, they even describe the conversation of people who are depressed. And these were, I found, 3 interesting factors that determined that they found patients with depression. And one was patients will use words like hopelessness, worthlessness, things were feeling bad, all these negative terms. Beyond that, another term we use is absolutisms. It will always be bad. It will never be good. It's completely messed up. So we tend to use those terms. And something else as well, this is the third one, and this I found most fascinating, is we tend to use words like, I will always be in this sad situation. These things always happen to me. We get so caught up in ourselves. So it's the me, myself, and I. We get so caught up in ourselves and our mind, we see no way of breaking through. And we're just in this negative space. So yes, these are some of the criteria that we look at. And at some level as well, the depression, the mood is affected, affects your social functioning, affects your work. We struggle to get up in the morning. We sleep long hours sometimes, but we don't feel rested, or we just can't sleep and we can't get up in the morning. So all these factors go together and create for that negative emotional state. And it's important that the person who feels this way seeks the help, speaks to someone, goes to a doctor, goes to a healthcare practitioner, and seeks the help. And there is help available. This is very important because what we'll find is some patients don't want to admit that they're unwell. And we'll get to a very negative space. And, we're seeing something I'll share, for example, suicide is, we see more and more people experience this or, attempting suicide over the years. In fact, depression in itself is they say the World Health Organization, and we already passed the year 2020, has said by 2020, it will be the second most common illness in the world. So we're seeing more and more, as much as we live in what I'll use the word, a mental world, where we're using our minds. As much as the mind has taken us to amazing places in terms of academics and studies and degrees and jobs, it also can go to a very negative space. And this is what we have to deal with more and more. And this is something that definitely can be treated.
Oh, okay. That's very interesting.